NFL Week 8 picks. Thursday Night Football tonight, we got the Redskins and the Vikings. Vikings to win this game. They're like a 16.5-point favorite. They're at home, and the Redskins are terrible even though they go win against the Dolphins, which that doesn't say anything, obviously. So Minnesota will win, very likely in a blowout. Give me Minnesota. Broncos and Colts. The Colts are really impressing me. They really are. They're 4-2 with Jacoby Brissett as a quarterback. And a couple years ago, they went 3-13 with Brissett as their quarterback when Andrew Luck missed the whole year. And Brissett's proven that he's proven that he can fill the shoes of Andrew Luck very well, and he's a really good, solid backup quarterback. And he's getting the job done so far. Beat the Texans last week, won on the road in Kansas City, and honestly, this is another game that I think they'll take against the Broncos in Indianapolis. So, give me the Colts. Buccaneers, Titans. Bucks, 2-4. They're not a very good team. Titans rebound last week, getting a win. But I think, honestly, this is a tough game to pick. It's at Tennessee, I understand that, and they're playing Tampa Bay at home. If this was at Tampa Bay, I'd probably pick Tampa Bay, but it's at Tennessee, so I'm probably going to roll with the Titans in this game. Yeah, the Bucks won at LA on the road against the Rams, but in my opinion, that was a fluke because they're 2-4 now. I think every game since then they've lost, and they'll lose this game too at Tennessee. Give me the Titans. Cardinals and Saints. Saints are doing very well without Drew Brees. Teddy Bridgewater proved he can be a good starting quarterback in this league, and he's fielding well. They're coming off a 36-20, I think it was, beating of the Chicago Bears. They won in Seattle, and they beat Dallas. So Bridgewater's proven that he can fill the shoes of Brees while he's out, and give credit to Arizona. They started 0-3-1, but now they're 3-3-1. And Kyler Murray obviously is a big reason for that, and David Johnson. But nevertheless, Saints will win the game at home. Give me New Orleans. Bengals and Rams, not much to say here. Rams killed the Falcons 37-10. But they're playing the Bengals. That's really all you need to know. So this will be a blowout. Rams will probably blow out the Bengals in London. No, they will blow out the Bengals in London because the Bengals are the worst team in the NFL. I actually think they have the Dolphins beaten. I was saying that the Dolphins were the worst team in the league earlier in the year, but now I think the Bengals have them beat. Rams will win the game by at least 30. Jets and Jaguars, give me Jacksonville. Jets are another one of the jokes of this league. Sam Darnold, they played the Patriots on Monday. Darnold threw 4 interceptions. I don't think he's a very good quarterback at all. I think the Jets made a mistake drafting him in 2018 with their high draft pick. I think he's a bust. And the fact is, I just don't think he can lead the Jets to where they want to go every season. I don't think he's capable of leading them to the playoffs, and I really think the Jets screwed up with that pick. And now, granted, the Jets are the Patriots' doormat. Patriots beat them every single time they play them, pretty much. But Jaguars will win the game. I just think they're a better team. They got a better defense. Minshew, Fournette, DJ Shark, and all them. They'll find a way to beat this team. Jacksonville wins. Giants and Lions. Give me the Lions. I like Matt Stafford at home and Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay and all them to get the job done. Daniel Jones, he's all he beat Tampa Bay and he beat Washington to get the Giants to 2-2 after Eli Manning went out. But since then they've lost 3 straight since then. So Jones was giving you a little bit of hope early on about, hey, maybe he might be the savior of this team, but now they've lost 3 straight, and now your hope's kind of gone down a little bit. And unfortunately, I think this will be another loss for the Giants. Detroit will win the game. Chargers and Bears. I think the Chargers and Bears, I think the Bears will win this game, just like I said, because of their defense. I know they gave up 36 points to a Saints team without Drew Brees last week. I mean, You got a defense as good as the Bears. You're giving up that many points to a offense without Drew Brees as their quarterback. Like that's got to be a fluke. Like the Bears, like I believe their defense is too good to let that happen again. And I think they'll beat the Chargers this week. Like I said, I think while the Chargers may have the edge in offense, the Bears have the edge in defense, and they're at home, which is the same thing I said last week against the Saints. But I do think the Bears rebound and get the job done at home this week. Give me Chicago. Philadelphia and Buffalo. In my opinion, this is another tough game to pick. Buffalo, like I said, Philadelphia is 3-4, Buffalo is 5-1, and I believe Buffalo is like a 4-point favorite or something like that. But the Eagles, like I thought they were going to be a lot better than they've been so far this year. Carson Wentz, Alshon Jeffrey, they've got a really talented offense, and they have a decent defense too. But they've underperformed this year, and the Bills, they have a great defense, but their offense isn't as good as Philadelphia's, obviously. But like I said, in my opinion, another tough game to pick. But it's at Buffalo. I don't know. I really don't. It's a tough game to pick. Give me Philadelphia on the road. Eagles will win the game. They'll rebound from that tough loss against Dallas last week. Actually, yeah, Dallas killed them last week, and they'll rebound from that. So, Philly wins. Seattle, Atlanta. Seahawks will win this game. Falcons are terrible. They got killed by the Rams last week. Falcons, I just don't even know what to say about them. They got all this talent on offense. I'm saying it every week now. They got all this talent on offense, but they're doing nothing with it. I think Dan Quinn needs to be fired. He should have been fired after that Super Bowl collapse, but he wasn't. And I think the Falcons are wanting to fire him this year. They're just waiting to see how the rest of the season goes. And obviously, you've gotten clues that the rest of the season's not going to go very good. And Matt Ryan might not even play this week. So the Falcons are obviously in a downward spiral. They're terrible. Seahawks will win the game. Much better team. Yeah, I just don't believe in Atlanta. I really don't. Seattle wins. Panthers and 49ers. Now, some may be tempted to pick an upset on the road. Some may be tempted to pick Kyle Allen to go in and stun the undefeated 49ers. But I don't think they will. I think the 49ers will improve to 7-0 with this win against the Panthers. If it was at Carolina, then maybe I might be tempted to pick the upset, but I don't think that'll happen. I think the 49ers will improve to 7-0. They will beat Carolina. Cleveland and New England, give me the Patriots. So all that Browns hype in the preseason, it's gone away now. They look like they're destined to fall to 2-5 right now, and they'll go back to being the same old Browns that we've always known them to be since they came back in 1999. Baker Mayfield, I believe, has thrown for like 5 touchdowns and 11 interceptions or something like that with Odell Beckham Jr. It's too many people believing in the Browns before the season, knowing, their history and, the way they usually respond in the regular season to that hype. They fell short this year. Like, really, many of the seasons that the Browns have existed since they came back, there have been no expectations. But in the one season that they do have expectations, in typical Browns fashion, they don't respond. And they're going to fall to 2-5 with this loss. And they're well on their way to missing the playoffs if they don't get it going. I don't think they will get it going. New England will win the game. They're like 10-point favorites or something like that. I expect this game to be a blowout. The Browns might get it within like 10 or like maybe 2 touchdowns, something like that. But nevertheless, Patriots will win. It's foregone conclusion. Browns, in my opinion, are done. They're not going anywhere this year. New England wins. Oakland and Houston. The Texans, like I said, they've been they really have been a tough team to figure out. They got Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins. They got a talented defense, but they lose a game like last week against Indianapolis to a backup quarterback, and it just makes you wonder. Is this team, like they always seem like a team that has expectations before the season begins to like make a Super Bowl run, but they always end up falling short and going like 8-8 or 9-7 or something like that, and losing in the first round of the playoffs to, you know, a team that shouldn't even be there. And but they're at home this game against the Raiders. I think the Texans will win. The Raiders coming off a big blowout loss against the Packers last week in Green Bay. But it won't matter, like the Oakland, they'll keep it close in Houston, but I think eventually the Texans will pull it out. So, give me the Raiders. And I will say one thing: the past couple weeks, in all the games that start at 1 o'clock and end at like 4 o'clock, I've done very good in picking the early games. I've got a lot of the most of the early games past 3 weeks. I've got right, like I've picked them correctly. But the problem is, the last 2 or 3 weeks, these late games have really got me. I'd pick the late games past 2 or 3 weeks, and I'd whiff on a lot of them. And I hope that doesn't happen again this week. I hope my picks in the games that start at 4:05 p.m. or later are correct. And the past few weeks, that hasn't been the case. So I'm hoping that changes this week. Green Bay, Kansas City. Andy Reid just said today that Patrick Mahomes is not officially ruled out for Sunday's game against Green Bay. But if Mahomes does play, I like Kansas City to win. If Mahomes does not play, then I like Green Bay to win. And, after their last game, it was originally said that Mahomes would miss like 3 to 4 games or something like that. So the guess here is that Mahomes will not play and that Matt Moore will start a quarterback for the Chiefs. So with that being said, I'm going to take Green Bay to win this game. Packers get the win. And then Monday Night Football, Miami and Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh to win. Dolphins are obviously taking. They're terrible, second worst team in the league behind the Bengals, in my opinion. Pittsburgh, like I said, they're at home. They're usually pretty good at home in prime time, and they'll get this win against the Dolphins. Dolphins not really much to play for here. I just don't think they're a good enough team to beat Pittsburgh on the road, and Steelers will most likely blow them out like they did the Bengals in that Monday night game a month ago. So, Steelers will get the win. There's your picks. I hope I do better in those late games this week. Like I said, they've got me. They've really bit me in the butt past couple weeks, past 2 or 3 weeks, and I hope that changes this week. So, there you have it. Good luck to everybody's teams this week. Like the video, comment on it, and I'll see you in the next video.